Estella is finally available within Destiny Rising, the full launch of the game. She was my favorite character in the alpha. She got tuned a little bit for the beta, and now she is back for the full launch of the game. And naturally, a lot of people are asking, especially people who are spending no money on the game, playing completely free to play, or spending very little money on the game. Those are the best ways to play this game, by the way. A lot of people are asking, should I pull for her or Gwyn? And you know, you have limited pulls. You're gonna want to focus on the character that's gonna make the biggest impact for your day-to-day the most. So I have pulled Estella. I put quite a bit of time into her now, a few hours. I built her up, have her at 5,500 power, or 55,000 power. My Gwyn is my current main character, the one I played the most on. She's at 57,000 power. So I do want to compare and contrast these characters a little bit later in this video, but let's go over Estella first, since she is brand new. She is much more of a kind of, she does do a lot of DPS, but she's much more of like a support kind of role, crowd control type of role. She is going to be much more effective in large team activities, as far as I can tell. Gauntlet Blitz, the raid, those sorts of things. Her abilities are pretty interesting. You can summon a giant dragon called a Violent Reverie, and it pretty much is like nukes enemies. It's pretty fun. Attacking combatants with weapons accumulates corruption, which is a buff that stacks up to 10 times per second. It's above your bar. It's like a little bar that, or it's above like your health and character information. It's a little bar that increases over time. Casting Bewitched Illusion consumes corruption. This ability cannot be cast without sufficient energy. Bewitched Illusion makes you summon smaller dragons. It's pretty fun. You can summon up to 3 of them. They join the battlefield. They'll attack the enemies that you are attacking. The more corruption that you have, the higher level the dragon that you summon will be. So that's pretty fun. And then your first signature ability, Misfortune's Guide, unleashes contaminated energy, dealing damage to hit combatants and inflicting them with misfortune. Misfortune is a debuff that marks targets, and it makes your summons do a ton more damage, 35% more damage to that enemy. So you're going to be wanting to be using this constantly. Then there's, you know, different things as well. The enemies spread misfortune to each other when you kill them. Misfortune lasts longer, etc., etc. So she's a really fun character to use. If we go over to the firing range real quick, I can show you some of that, where she has some really fun, like her little play loop is very fun. If you're doing something like chaos, you're just running around, you're throwing summons constantly, you're throwing summons all over the place. It is quite fun to use her. So that's the little dragon. It'll do damage over time. It'll attack. This is like your little corruption attack that uses your corruption and makes these enemies take more damage from your summons. This is your big dragon, which will go around and just absolutely nuke things. It is really cool. She has a great ability set. These are the artifacts I've settled on. I will say the one thing that seems to be lacking in her kit is consistent survivability. So I think there might be some tuning with these two artifacts that might be able to do to make her stay alive a little bit more easily. But right now I'm going with Warding Pact. Excuse me, for every summon on the field, you gain 1 stack of ward, take minus 6.6% damage, stacks 3 times. You will always have 3 summons up, pretty much, where because as you are shooting enemies, you can summon more and more enemies. So 1, 2, 3. Now I have 18% damage resistance for free, and you will always have that up. These things recharge so fast. You can see the timer right here. Each summon lasts for 25 seconds. It is so easy to keep up 3 summons at any given point in time. That's just a free 18% damage resistance, almost 19, or over 19% damage resistance at any given time. Right now I have Healing Mutation. This is the one that I think I might be changing. After consecutively hitting the same target with more than 5 rounds, recover health on each subsequent hit equal to 16.2%. So she uses the same weapons as Kabir, rapid fire weapons. I'm going with the Furies because I don't have the Gallows. A lot of people have asked me to test those. I don't have the Gallows yet. Once I get them, maybe I'll do a comparison. Furies and a machine gun. Scorched Earth has some pretty crazy perks on it. So the thought was, you know, with Kabir, when you're building him, you use all rapid fire artifacts. I thought the same was going to be true for Estella, so I really sat with this because you know, I wanted to constantly be doing damage with my my weapons and getting that healing. It doesn't really work like that, though. Her abilities do way more damage than Kabir's abilities do, so you're really focusing on those a lot more. I think I might switch to something like Siphoning Pact. Summons restore 10% of health when they assist. Maybe Bulwark Pact. Whenever you summon things, they have more health. I don't know. I don't think that's that good. There's an ability one that I was considering using, Binging Planetismal. Dealing damage with signature abilities restores health equals to 13.2% of the damage dealt. And so if you're, you know, you're summoning and you're constantly doing that, that might also be worth it. Something to keep. That's probably the main other one I would use, and I might switch to that just for more consistent healing. Bellicose Pact in the third slot here. The wielder's summons deal 22.2% more damage. That's very good. Responsive Pact. Casting signature abilities grants plus 24% attack damage. This seems to buff everything for 6 seconds, and just for proof that it seems to buff everything, right here I'll do 895 damage. I'll summon something, and it does 926. So it seems to be all damage, weapon damage, and ability damage, not just you know, one or the other. Responsive Pact could also be replaced with this one, Resonating Pact. When summons attack the same target as the wielder, they deal 28% more damage. This is really good, but in my tests where I was doing as much damage as possible to a single target, those two artifacts in the bottom slot there didn't really make a difference. Responsive and Resonating made me do about the same amount of damage in a damage rotation. And so I'm going to pick Responsive because it buffs everything, not just the one target that one of my abilities is attacking as well. So these are the artifacts I think are really good. Her talent tree, as always, I don't really pull duplicates of these limited time characters. I will say her C1 or her T1 here, the upgrade you get for 1 copy, is super strong. When Estella or her summons attack targets inflicted with misfortune, they will recover health equal to initial damage dealt times 37% for yourself, or 1,110 for your summons. So keeps your summons alive for longer, keeps you alive for longer. And like I said, her main lacking part is going to be survivability. A lot of people really liked my damage rotation that I did last time, so I'll just show you kind of the ideal damage rotation. She's not a DPS character, but if you're going to be doing DPS with her, how I would do it is I would start with a summon, and then I would cast my signature one. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. I can check real quick. I would your Misfortune's Guide. So start with a summon, Misfortune's Guide, super, do damage.
Nothing can escape.
And then summon tier 3 things, and then just lay it. And you're going to be doing an absolute ton of damage over time. And then just make sure you watch the health of your summons there. I have 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and so I'll summon around 3 or 2 seconds just to make sure you keep that up. And then you want to cast the Misfortune's Guide anytime you can to buff the amount of damage that your creations, your summons are doing as well. So that's what I recommend currently for the damage rotations and the artifacts and stuff. But and then I would also have Wolf as the linked character because it boosts solar damage and all of your abilities are solar, and I'm using 2 solar weapons on her. But the question everyone is asking, is she better than Gwyn? In my opinion, I think Gwyn is just going to be the better single character for most of the content in the game, to be honest. And I say that as a person who I really like Estella. Estella is probably my favorite character in concept in Destiny Rising. I don't know why these guys have 1 billion health, but Gwyn does way more single target damage. Her survivability is off the rails, and she kills things so fast that, you know, she's not like good at crowd control, but she helps kill things faster, which makes her good at crowd control. So personally, if I had to pick one character between Estella and Gwyn, I would pick Gwyn. because she excels at more content in the game. Most of the time when you're playing this game, you're running Singularity Chaos or Morgren's Wish or Legacy or Shifting Gates, those sorts of things, where you're more in a solo or smaller team environment. And this sort of character, in my opinion, is going to serve you better. Estella is very good as like a pretty good support crowd control-ish character, though. So I definitely think she's worth having and leveling up. I'm gonna be focusing her over Tan, for instance, probably, so as my solar character. Yeah, going forward, I think my 3 characters that I'm gonna focus on: 1 Arc, 1 Void, 1 Solar, Gwyn, Kabir, and Estella. But if you had to choose one between Estella and Gwyn, I would probably go with Gwyn. All right, everybody. If you have any more questions or suggestions or comments, let me know down in the comment section below. I love your faces. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you very soon.